If you'd like to overcome stage fright caused by your fear of being boring, listen up.
Welcome to Speakers Are Leaders podcast with Harry Sardinas and Lily Patrascu. Discover how to become a charismatic speaker and leader so you can attract ideal clients and business collaborations.
There are some amazing strategies you can use to become exciting on stage, so much so you will like yourself. And when you like yourself, your audience will like you. The very first thing is to remember that it's a conversation. It's not a monologue. Okay. So if you structure your talk in a way that you are just talking to a friend, and okay, there are multiple friends there, but you're just talking mainly to one friend at a time. If you think of it like this, you're going to be a lot less stressed, because when you're talking to your friend, you're not stressed, right? When you're talking to a lot of friends, when there's a big group, that's when it can become a little bit stressful. And I find that the reason why I used to get very stressed was because I didn't know where to look. Okay. So when you know where to look, then you are a lot less stressed, and you become more in control. So the very first thing to know is that you don't have to look at everyone at the same time, because you only have two eyes and everyone is like all over the place. Okay. And you need to start to look. Initially, yes, you're going to be in the middle and you're going to be looking at one person. Okay. You're going to be looking at one person, and then you are going to be scanning the audience. And as you're scanning the audience, you are making eye contact with everyone. And then that will give you a bit of peace of mind, because all of a sudden you are not so scattered in terms of where should I be looking. The second thing is that you need to remove and you can say shift the focus from you delivering a monologue to you speaking and having a conversation. So how you're going to do that is you're going to ask them two questions that will lead to them saying yes. And if you find that actually they are not going to answer that, what you can ask them is a funny question, such as, raise your hand if you're not going to raise your hand regardless of what I ask.
And if absolutely. The fear of being bored, right? So there is a massive fear out there that, you said, this speaking is boring, right? And this is the things that speakers need to do in order to don't become boring speakers. Number one, what Lily said, right? You have to look at every one of them, at different points, because if you look at them, one particular person, then another particular person. You can look at one particular person on the front, one particular person in the back, one particular person on the left, one particular person on the right. It's going to be an area of the audience that they're all going to be looking, they're all going to think that you're looking at them. However, if you're looking to different points of the audience, they're not going to see you as a boring speaker, because what happens is, if there are some speakers that go to the front of the stage and they start to look for the point in the back only, and they talk. So what happened? The people on the side, they already checked out, because they say, well, this person is speaking with me. So what's the point of paying attention? But if you look everyone, the audience, they will be all over you, and you won't be bored. The other thing, exactly like Lily said, ask a yes question. So what else, Lily, can we do in terms of participation to the audience that we can avoid this monologue and get the audience more engaged?
A great way to engage your audience and not be boring is, first of all, to smile. When you smile, you look a lot friendlier. And when you look a lot friendlier, they relax as well. And they realize that this is going to be a fun presentation. This is going to be a fun presentation where they have a friend on stage as well. So it's not only you being afraid of them, they are afraid of you too, because they don't know if you're going to be boring. Okay. And the minute you kind of relax, and the minute you start to be yourself and be authentic, and even ask them some fun questions, like, raise your hand if you're never gonna answer any question, regardless of what I say, then it kind of brings a little bit of a fun twist to to what you're going to say. Now, this is not always going to work. Okay, because you have to adapt your conversation, your conversational stage, your speaking on stage to your audience. There will be a certain serious audience that will not like that. You have to really know your audience, and you have to know what kind of audience you're going to have, so you can prepare for the kind of style that they prefer to listen to. And
but I want to enhance a little bit more about this, what Lily just shared with you, because it's really powerful. Because when you said, okay, raise your hands, who wants to make more money? A lot of people raise their hand. Then you said, okay, raise your hand, who wants to be happy? Then other people raise their hand. And then when you said, raise their hand, if you're not going to raise your hand, no matter what I ask. And if a lot of people raise their hands, what that means is that they are not engaging with your audience. They are getting bored. So in order to avoid to become a bored speaker, you need to test your audience. You have to participate with them. You need to ask them questions, so you will know if they're getting bored or not. And then the secret for that, to avoid this, is participation. The more they participate with you, is not monologue. The more they participate with you, the more they're going to engage, and they will never get bored. I remember the last workshop that we did, the speakers and leaders, Lily went to the stage, and it was after lunch on Sunday. They have been there from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturday, and this is our workshop, speakers and leaders. You release a lot of energy. We are very intense, Lily and I, we have to say. And then on Sunday, they came back after lunch, which is they are already exhausted from the day before, and now they have lunch, and now Lily's speaking. And I remember Lily started the conference that she asked them a question. Okay, every single one of you defining what this workshop has been for you, meant for you, and stand up and say, right? And this type of exercise, even if the audience is tired and the audience is exhausted, then because you're participating, now they won't see you supporting speakers. Yeah, I saw one speaker once that he was throwing chocolate to the audience. Definitely, it's not gonna be classified for speakers. So, what else, Lily, can we do?
The other thing that's so important, aside from smiling, is to compliment them. Okay, so you could say something like, "You are the most good-looking audience I've seen today. In fact, you are the most good-looking audience I've seen this week," right? So just because you are bringing up a little bit of humor, you are complimenting them, and then you can actually lead towards mentioning some compliments regarding their culture, or regarding something that you like about them, something about their food, or something that you have seen today. And it's almost like you are warming up the audience by doing that. You are setting the tone for how this presentation is going to be. And you can also
definitely, if you want to make them happy, talk about the food. I remember in Singapore, Lily, do you remember in Singapore when we arrived to Singapore and we started to do the first speech? Yeah, and I was so fascinated about, they have a chicken in Singapore, they sell chicken satay with a peanut butter sauce, and this is amazing. I love this peanut sauce with the chicken satay. I arrived and I started to before I started the conference, I would jump to the stage, and I was talking about this, how wonderful was this food and how much I like this, and all of a sudden I got the audience already all engaged. They are not bored, and they're amazingly happy because I'm complimenting the food, and this creates a very good connection. And the audience already, they are perceiving that, oh, this speech is going to be everything but not boring, because the guy is already engaging with us, right?
The other thing you can do is you can actually get them involved by asking them, shout out, where did you travel from today? So, for example, some people will shout out, okay, Hungary, Romania, Poland, I don't know, Singapore, wherever. So by doing that, you are again setting the tone that this is a conversation, this is not a monologue. And by getting the audience engaged, by them saying where they came from, you are opening the conversation. You are, you can say, setting the tone. You are creating rapport as well. So, for example, once you find out that there are a few people from a certain country, or you get a total of, okay, we have, people flying from 20 countries today, and then you go ahead and you compliment them again, and you ask them to clap themselves, to give themselves a big clap for being here. Now, the reason why you want to do that is because you want to shift the energy in the room. If the conference starts in the morning, or if the conference starts in the afternoon, or whenever, there is an element of the audience sometimes being tired. If it's after lunch, if it's in the morning, maybe they're, they haven't properly had the time to wake up yet. They haven't had their coffee or enough coffee. And if it's, after dinner, they get the post-dinner tiredness. So you need to find a way to bring some energy, to elevate the energy of the audience. So how you're going to do that is you can ask them something exciting, and you can even say, give yourselves a big round of applause for being here. You could be in bed. You could be at home washing dishes. You could be at home listening to what your wife is going to tell you off about. But you decided to be here. Now, when you mention the kind of places where they could be, you could bring an element of humor to it. For example, you can say, you could be at home brushing your dog's feet, but you decided to be here. Okay. Now, because you are going to bring an element of fun, an element of humor, and then you kind of bring it back to them and say, but you decided to be here. Give yourselves a big round of applause for that. And because you said with a lot of energy, a lot of power, they feel elevated and they feel recognized. They feel acknowledged, and they are already getting a little bit of reward for being there. And the reward.
To sum up, if you don't want to see perceived as a boring speaker, remember, smile, do some jokes, ask some questions, get them to participate. And in the next episode, we're gonna be covering more tips how you're going to be everything but less than a boring speaker.
Follow us for more charismatic speaker and leader tips.